everyone. Welcome to my channel and welcome back to my subscribers. As always, thank you so much for your support. So today we are going to be making a multi-pocket, loaded pocket Christmas book that you can give as a gift to someone. Before we get started on our tutorial, I do want to say that I am an Amazon associate and I earn from qualifying purchases. This means that if you click on a link and make a purchase, I may receive a small commission at no additional cost to you. So I want to put that out there up front. So let's take a look at what we are going to be working on today. Okay, so it has a velvet ribbon as a closure. Here is the front cover and the back cover, and let's just dive right on in. So it opens up this way and we have another flip. So we have a pocket here with some journaling cards for you. We have another pocket here with some journaling cards for you. And then we have another pocket here with some journaling cards for you. Let me set this aside. And then we flip this over and we have another pocket with some journaling cards. And I also gave you a hidden notepad so that you can do some hidden journaling. And then if you take a look up here, we have 3 deep pockets with some tall journaling cards that I made out of the large size index cards. I made these out of the larger size index cards, and you can do some journaling on the back. Okay, and then here's our back cover. All right, so how did I do this? Let's take a look. Okay, so here is what you're going to need. I am using a craft cardstock paper, and this is 65 pounds in weight. And you'll need 2 of these, and this is 10 inches by 6 inches, and I scored at 2 inches and 6 inches, and you'll just give that a nice fold, and I'm going to set that aside. And remember, you're going to need that twice, okay? 10 by 6, score at 2 and 6, and fold. Okay, I'm gonna set that one aside as well. All right, so then I have another piece, and this is 8 by 6, and you're simply going to fold it in half, give it a nice crease, and let me set that aside. Then you'll need another piece, and this one is 5.5 by 6 inches, and again I scored at 2. Give that a nice crease and set it aside. Okay, so let's start assembling the base now that we have things that are cut out. So I want you to take note on how I'm putting things together. So I've marked things up for myself so that I put them together correctly. So here's that piece that was, it was 8 by 6, and we folded it in half. So I'm gonna put that one in the center. And these are the 2 that, remember I said you needed 2 of these? So I want you to look at how I'm putting this together. So on the right side, it's in the shape of a Z. And here's the smaller flap at the start, right, of that Z shape. And then on the left side, it's a backward Z, and here's that smaller flap at the start of the Z. Okay, so I'm going to leave these here for now, and I'm going to take this one here in the center And I just need to glue, I left notes for myself. I just need to glue two sides. I'm going to glue this side and this side. And then I put X's here to remind myself, don't do anything there. I'm using the Barely Art Precision Craft Glue. And let me just, okay, and just sealing that up. Okay, going to set that aside for a second. Okay, and I have my pocket. My pocket needs to be facing up, okay? So I'm gonna set this down for now. And then I'm going to take this side now, okay? And what I need to do with this side is the following. Do you remember that I had a little notepad on the back cover? So what I need to do now is get my notepad. I want to get my notepad on before I glue things down and seal things shut. So, okay, I'm going to leave this in that Z pattern short flap right there for now. So you've seen me do these in the past. So I've got 1, 2, 3, I've got 4 sheets here, okay? And let me give you the measurements. And I'm just going to move this over just for 1 second. Okay. So this is 3.5 by 5.5. Okay. And then this is 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. And this is going to be the cover of our notepad. So as you've seen me do in the past, I need to glue my pages together. So I've got all of these together here. Let me use a paper clip to hold them. And I'm going to use that same glue to get things glued together. All right, so I'm just going to do a quick bead of glue on each sheet. Okay, so that's glued together. And now I want to place this about centered to my cover. I'm not gluing it to the cover at all, but I do want to just get it placed. And I'm going to, if you could see here, I've tried to get everything equidistant around, like a little frame, a little border. And I want to just put a paper clip to hold these together. And with this, I have already mapped out or marked my center point, and I put a little pencil dot there. And I am going to put another paper clip on here just to make sure things are not shifting, because I want to poke a hole, punch a hole through things. Okay, that's good enough. It's junk journaling. Okay. So here I am using my, this is a 1/16 of an inch, the hole, and I'm going to punch out where I have my pencil mark. That's the center left and right. So I'm going to try to nail that as best as I can. I am using the Holtz Idea-ology long fasteners, and I'm going to just slip that through and open that up. Okay, So this is how we're creating that, that hidden swinging notepad. Okay, so now let's get back to the way that we had things. So this is our centerpiece, and this is the one on the right that has that Z with the small flap, right? Okay, so I'm going to turn this way to open it up, okay? And then what I need to do is I need to get this glued down so that this can swing, okay? So I'm going to glue down just the back page only, okay? I'm not gluing down the cover, just the back page, all right? So let me get some glue down. And I'm staying just on that back sheet, okay? And I'm going to try to keep this steady. And I'm going to try to get that nice frame around in the center, okay? So I'm holding the pages together so they're not swinging all over the place, okay? And just gonna get that down in the center as best as I can. Top and bottom, left and right. I'm not going to fuss too much about it. Okay. So that is glued down, and now we have our swinging cover for our hidden notepad. Okay. And the reason why we want to glue it to the cover here, the back cover here, and the reason why I put the brad to the last page of the notebook is because I didn't want to have the brad here, because this is going to be a pocket that we're going to put cards in, and I didn't want this to get in the way of inserting things, okay? So that's why I did it like that. Okay, so now that we have this like this, right, your Z, okay? So I'm going to glue here and the bottom shut, and that'll give me a nice deep pocket, okay? So I'm gonna just open this up for you. And I have my little reminders there. Glue two sides, XX, don't touch. So I am sealing that shut. Okay, and now I've got a pocket and I have that flap, okay? Okay, all right. So here is that center panel, pocket side up, right? The same thing with here, pocket side up, right? So now I am going to glue three sides. I'm going to glue this, this, and this. My little X telling me don't put any glue there, okay? So I'm going to glue this side here, this side here, and I'm going to glue right over here. I'm going to stay on the inside of the fold because I don't want glue going all over the place. All right. Okay, here we go. Pocket side up, right? No glue right here, and we're just gonna glue this right here. Okay, and get that pressed on. Let me make sure that I'm straight here and get that pressed on, straight on this side. Move things over a little bit that need to shift. Okay. And then I will press that down. Okay, so let's see what we have so far. All right, so now we have the back cover with this pocket, right? And now we have a little top pocket here. And now we need to get the front cover on, okay? So here is our backwards Z, okay? And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just lay this down like this. And I have my notes. I'm just going to glue two sides, nothing up here. Okay, now I have my little pocket facing up. Okay, let's take a look at this. So we've got a pocket facing up, right? And then pocket facing up. So now I'm going to lay this down. See, we have our notepad facing us, right? With the little brad right here. Okay, I'm going to lay this face down. And now this little flap, I want to glue that here. And to do that, I'm going to glue three sides. All right, I'm going to glue 1, 2, and 3. All right. And there's my X telling me right here, don't put any glue. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Get that pressed together, make sure everything is in alignment. Okay. Okay. Going to get any excess glue out of the way so nothing sticks together that shouldn't stick together. Okay. All right. Okay, so now we have this like a little book, right? Okay, so we have our front cover that has a pocket, the center, and the back cover, and they each have pockets. Okay, now remember we had another piece, and okay, pocket side up, right? Pocket side up, the front cover, and I'm going to lay this down. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, see this short flap right here? I'm going to glue this right here. And I only need to glue three sides. I have my X there telling me don't put any glue. Okay, and I'm gluing this to the inside of the top cover. Okay, and then I have a pocket there. So now this is what it looks like. You've got a cover and a fold out. Turn your little page, you have your notepad, and you have another tuck spot, and then you've got these three large pockets. Okay, so next thing that we need to do is we need to get covers, cover images on, and cover our little tuck spots, and get some journaling cards in there. So one of the things that I want to do is I want to make some tall tags. So what I did was I took some index cards that were 6 by 4 inches or 4 by 6 inches, and I cut them down. These were the ones that have the lines, and I cut out the pink line, I cut out a little of the bottom bottom here, and I cut these down essentially to about 3 3/8, and they're still 6 inches. And I did 3 of these for our deep pockets, and these are just again, they're going to be some tall journaling cards. Then I took a digital, and let me just give you the measurements. This is essentially a little hair short of 3, but 3 by 5. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn these over like so. And I've already distressed things, if you've noticed, and I'm going to be gluing these down on top of the large index cards. And I just left a little bit of space at the top because I'm going to use the whale tail tabs. And so I'll get this glued down, and then I'm going to top it off with a whale tail tab. Okay, so let me get these glued down, and then I'll come right back. Okay, so these are all done, and I want to get these now into our tall pockets. Okay. Oops, there's the pocket. Nope, nope. There's the pocket. Okay, and then we have another back pocket. Okay. All right, so now we have these 3 tuck spots. And so you'll need 3 of these strips, and let me give you the measurements for these. So this is 1 3/4 by 5 3/4 of an inch. Okay. So here's my first one. Let me get that glued down. And I did the measurements in such a way so that you can get a little frame around things. Okay, so things are coming together. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is this little flap right here. So I have these 2 cards and then another, and let me give you the measurements for these. These 2 are the same size, and this is 3 1/4 by 5 3/4, and then this little piece here is 3 1/4 by 2 3/4. 3 1/4 by 2 3/4. Okay. Okay. So this is our front cover, and this is our flap. So I'm going to put this one here. And it's really just decorative, but if you wanted to do more than just have something that's decorative, if you created a pocket, maybe make the pocket a vellum pocket. A vellum pocket, because it's more transparent. And then your measurements for the pocket would be the same as this one here. Okay, so I'm going to glue this here. And again, I tried to do things in a way so that you have a little frame with the measurements. Okay, that is going to be good enough for me. And then, same thing here. That is going to be good enough for me. And I'm going to use this as a little pocket right here. Okay, so with this one, I'm gluing down 3 sides. Just pull that down a little bit. Okay. Okay, and then I have my pocket there. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is we need to do our front cover and we need to do our back cover. And okay, so front cover, back cover, let's set that aside. Okay, for our covers, these are 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. So 3 3/4, 5 3/4, and one is the front cover, one is the back cover. These are actually the same digital. I just printed one a little bit smaller. Okay, so I like both of them, but I'm going to use this one for the front and I'm going to use this one for the back. So let me glue the back one on first. Okay, because I need to do something a little extra with the front cover. And if you're wondering what distress ink I am using, this is the Vintage Photo. Okay, so I'm in the back, right? These tabs are facing away from me. Okay, and I have my little note here, back cover. Okay, and again, I cut things out so that you'll have that little frame. Okay, let me just. Okay, and that is good enough for me. Okay, now I'm flipping this over to the front. Okay, so with my front cover, I am going to use, this is one of these little alloy labels, and I am also going to use again these little fasteners from Tim Holtz, Idea-ology. So these fasteners, they would go one on each side here. So what I want to do first is I want to think about where I'm going to place this. I want this on the front here, and that looks about as straight as it's going to be to me. And I'm not going to fuss too much because it's junk journaling. Okay, so I'm taking my pencil and I'm going to mark, just want to mark things out, and then I can pull that away, and let's see how well I did with marking things out. So here's a pencil mark here, and here's a pencil mark right here. So I'm going to use this again, my hole punch, and I'm going to do my best to hit that in the center. Well, that's one. And here is my other mark. And two. Okay, so here is my label, and I have a few labels here so that we can do a little bit of decorating. Okay, so what I want to use is the one that says Merry Christmas. So I am going to flip this over, and there's like an indent all around, and I have some Titebond glue. So I'm going to add some of that glue to the indent there, and then I'm going to take this Merry Christmas label, I'm going to stick that in there, and then when you turn it over, you have this, and then I'll fasten it. Okay, so let me do that, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I have that in now, and what I want to do is line this up with my holes that I've punched out, and then I have these fasteners. I'm going to get that in there on one side, and I'm going to get the fastener in on the other side. Okay, I'm going to turn this over and just turn my fastener a little bit so it's not sticking out that way. And okay, so now I just want to get this glued down here. So I'm going to go back to my Barely Art glue. Okay, there is my front cover, and I've already glued down the back. So now, the next thing that I want to do is I want to add some labels to these journaling cards, and then get the journaling cards into all of these different pockets that we've created, these little tuck spots. Okay, so let me do that, and then I'll be right back, and we'll put a closure on. Okay. Okay, so I've got labels on a couple of cards and in other places, and let's work on a closure now. Okay, so I have this velvet ribbon, and it's the darker ribbon. It's not two-sided though, and I also got this from Amazon. A lot of the products that you see me use I've gotten from Amazon. So because it's not a double-sided ribbon, I didn't make a bow because I thought that it would look a little awkward having the good side and then this sort of flat side. So here is our project today. I like the long bow. If you want something shorter, you can certainly make it shorter, but this is our project for today, and thank you for joining me. Okay, everyone, if you like this video, please share, please hit the like button, and please subscribe. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.